Dimitrios Pagourtzis loved Trump and loved his guns. He was a white nationalist and a far-right extremist.
The life of Dmitry Pagourtzis is now under a microscope, from his social media posts to his life inside Santa Fe High School. If you look at Pagourtzis' social media accounts, you see some red flags. He posted a picture of this shirt that says, "Born to Kill." Another post focuses on this trench coat with Nazi and kamikaze symbols.
In Facebook photos, the suspect looks like the boy next door. 17-year-old Dimitrios Pagourtzis played on the JV football team and was a member of his church dance squad. But there was a dark side. Weeks before the shooting, he posted these images on social media: a Born to Kill t-shirt, a gun and knife, and coat with Nazi regalia.
On May 18, 2018, a school shooting occurred at Santa Fe High School in Santa Fe, Texas.
We have active shooter, several people down. He's actually shooting. He's in the art room. We got shot spot right now, guys.
Armed with his father's shotgun and .38 revolver, hidden under a long coat, even though it was 90 degrees outside.
According to eyewitnesses, he barged into an art classroom and yelled "surprise." Investigators say he opened fire with a shotgun and a revolver that he took from his father.
Just minutes into allegedly carrying out his horrific plan, Dimitrios Pagourtzis burst into a Santa Fe art classroom with a disgusting, disturbed vengeance.
When he opened the door to shoot Kyle, he was like surprised, and then he shot him in the chest area.
The student he shot, now among the dead.
30 minutes after the initial call, the shooting was over, but the threat was not. Police found explosives, including CO2 and Molotov cocktails, in the suspect's home and a vehicle.
He is detained and in custody.
Investigators say Pagourtzis wore a long coat during the shooting and planned the attack in a journal that they've recovered.
8 kids and 2 teachers were murdered by Dimitrios.
A survivor tells us that the gunman taunted his victims during the carnage, singing the song "Another One Bites the Dust" in between shots. Shanna Fisher was among the first students killed in Friday's rampage. Her mother tells CBS station KHOU the 16-year-old for months had rejected the advances of alleged school shooter Dimitrios Pagourtzis.
And I think that she knew beforehand because this guy kept harassing her about wanting to be with her, like, in a relationship.
Santa Fe High did have armed guards and active shooter training. Officer John Barnes is in critical but stable condition after confronting the gunman. Without him, authorities say, the death toll could have been much higher.
The alleged gunman appeared before a judge tonight. He's charged with capital murder and other offenses in connection with the massacre at Santa Fe High School.
The Santa Fe High School gunman allegedly spared the lives of students he liked in the hopes they would tell his story. Dimitrios Pagourtzis, who killed 10 people and wounded 13 after opening fire at the school on Friday morning, had allegedly planned to take his own life, but instead surrendered to police after a brief shootout. According to court papers, the 17-year-old student has waived his right to remain silent and admitted carrying out the attack.
I can't divulge anything that he's said at this point. I can tell you that he's going through a very difficult time right now. The family is as mystified as anybody else in this. They did not expect this. They don't feel that there were any, red flags that they missed. I think that's echoed by the statements of the other students that have been speaking to the media. Basically describing him as a pretty nice kid and a little quiet, but otherwise not somebody they would expect to do something like this.
8 students and 2 teachers were killed after the gunman opened fire at the high school south of Houston. Authorities are still working to find out the gunman's motive for carrying out the attack.
At the time of this documentary, doctors at North Texas State Hospital advised the court that Pagourtzis remains incompetent.
Galveston County District Attorney Jack Rohde tells KPRC2, this was obviously not the news we had wanted to hear, and we share the family's frustration in the continued delay. Pagourtzis' attorney, Nick Pale, also sent us a statement reading in part, it's disappointing for all parties involved, but especially for the victims and their families who are still waiting for closure on this case and even for basic information about it. Court records indicate when the case does move forward, Pagourtzis intends to plead not guilty by reason of insanity. However, his current state of incompetency is separate from what a jury may one day have to consider was his mental state at the time of the murders. Unless doctors are able to restore his competency sooner, his mental state will be reevaluated in 1 year.
We will continue to follow this as the story unfolds.